Hello, dear traveler. This is where I left you yesterday. So here is the late afternoon view of the same place. And let's get back to the second part of the baggage car.
When you think about any situation when, something has been like same all the time and then suddenly one day it's different, it makes us uncomfortable. So I do understand. But it's making it hard for everyone. This is why it's so hard to be authentic. It's so hard to try to, be in your own truth, being able to talk about it because, there is this kind of like wave of that when we are young, we are stripped out of our power. We do what other people want, which makes, these ruptures in us, like the traumas. And then when we got to our power and we want, or to adulthood, and we want to reclaim our own power, then we are hitting our own traumas, which are stopping us to, or making it very hard to move forward. There is lots of information in it, but it's very, very hard. And then when you overcome that, then you hit the environment, which is, like what the F just happened with you, you are weird, are you in some sect, or are you following some weird people, or, are you this, what is that? Oh, I can't remember now. But, just like that, you are not normal anymore. So it's really, really hard. And this is what I'm all going through. And the only thing, if you are one of the person who sometimes has a question mark about me, I understand why, but I can tell you this is the hardest road I've ever been on, but it's a needed one, because, the Thomas which you used to know, the person you used to talk with, it wasn't me. It wasn't, I was doing so many things to please, because I learned that's the only way how I can be and how I can basically survive, because my authentic me was not accepted. Just the thing that I am gay, when I realized that when I was around 12, 13 and started to think about that, it was terrifying. There was no one around me. There's no one talked about it. The society wasn't really still so open in the time in Czech Republic. So I had to create so many coping mechanisms to make myself feel okay. And I need to make sure that I have people around me which do like me. But I was so scared to just go and say, hey, I'm gay, because they wouldn't accept it that easily. Even like, for example, with my parents, when I told my parents, they were very nice, but I still know what a ripple effect it created in them. We never really talked about it deeply, and there was never, like we did on the day when I told them, but there was never any like follow-up which would like carry on another months and years, where we would be like just I would be kind of checked on. I know that's my expectation. But when there is some big deep issue in any of us, when we are kind of not feeling completely okay, or there is some like deep core problem which we perceive as abnormal, or we are not fitting in, that needs regular support and maintenance and encouragement that it's okay, there is nothing wrong with you. Like, how are you? How is the world treating you? And this is not complaining. This is just saying my reality, that I never had that. And because I never had that, I had to create so many ways of how to give it to myself, and it was not the best. It was a lot of dependency, a lot of almost like addiction to acceptance and to pleasing other people to get this acceptance. So it's very interesting to be entangling this, and I am very hugely entangling it now because I started to do the therapy. So that's another thing, it's great you see more, but it's opening these things, which starting to talk about them is not easy. And I know by me talking about it, I'm gonna make many people uncomfortable. And I can be sorry for that, but I can't be apologizing for my own being anymore, for the thing or the person I actually am, And the other thing is, we are all adults. So, okay, I'm not talking to the children, I'm talking here to the adults in my life. And we have the capacity and capability to deal with this, and we can have a conversations, and we can communicate. So it's just about wanting to dive into the discomfort, being able to find out what's happening there, and having the willingness to respect and accept that our realities might be different. So this is getting quite long, but that's okay. I'm gonna split it. So you are probably, if you are here, so now you are in a part 2 or 3, I don't know in how many videos I'm gonna split it. Anyway, I think that's all what I wanted to say. If there is anything what you relate, or you're going through something similar, what helps me the most is to talk about it. If I find people which are going through something similar, it's huge help for me. I can imagine it might be also help for them. So if you want to reach out, we can carry on this conversation on some other media. So thank you for listening, and again, as usual, I wish you have a nice day, morning, evening, wherever you are, in whatever you do. And I'll see you in next one. Thank you, and